Welcome back to the channel. I finally got the car back. I took the car to South Georgia Motorsports Park, so just gonna give you a little time frame of what's been going on with the car. So after Mod Nationals with my McLeod RX T1200, I had a Vengeance clutch I was trying to put in it. I couldn't get the Vengeance clutch to work. I didn't have the proper shim to space out the throwout bearing, and ultimately ran the RXT as a last-ditch effort to make Mod Nationals, which the car did good. It did 960 at 147, I believe, if I remember correctly, and the car felt good. So after Mod Nationals, Vengeance hit me up and they saw the difficulties I experienced with the clutch install, and they offered to take the car and install the clutch themselves. So now the car has a Vengeance clutch in it now, and I'm going to go over all the clutch data and tech info on the clutch that I know. I don't know exactly everything about this clutch. It's a new developmental clutch. It's research and development, so I'm a test mule with this car. And I got the car back, took it to South Georgia Motorsports Park to test it. Broke the clutch in the burnout box. The clutch did very well, and you'll see in this video how well it did. I'm super happy with it, and yeah, I think it's gonna hold up for all the power I'm gonna make. This is still on the 2.9 upper pulley and 20% lower, so it's the equivalent of like a 2.6 upper with a stock lower. It's around 16, 17 pounds of boost, and the car feels good. It's super controlled. It doesn't feel like it's blowing through the clutch. It doesn't feel like it's slipping. It's holding, it's great. I've been driving the car around town a lot, and it's been doing a killer job. So that's it. And I'm gonna show you the second shift racing clutch tamer in the car. So this is the office, whatever y'all wanna call it, right? This is the contraption I wanna talk about right here. This is the clutch tamer created by Garrett from Second Shift Racing. And I'm gonna show you how it works. It has a cable right here, and then you plug the ground in, and then you have a fuse that goes into the fuse box over there. I ran it through my console, and then this is the button to operate it. So yeah, obviously there's a solenoid on there, or not obviously. So there's a solenoid on the tamer, which is what you hear energizing right there. And you see how it works? It just actuates. So how does it work? All right, this is gonna be difficult. Give me a second to figure this out. All right, so in here, this kick panel, this is where I tapped into the passenger compartment fuse box. 30 fucking seconds to fix this shit. All right, pull that out, right? Yeah, that doesn't look good. All right, that's my ZT2 and stuff. And then this is the fuse box right here. So you can see which one is for the tamer. It's this one right here for the jumper. You go into your horn fuse on the interior, and that's where you plug it into. Then you run the wire through the console. I ran it underneath. I'm not gonna pull this apart, but that's basically how it works. And then it ties into your tamer for the solenoid. I have a button for it. I have to relocate this button. I have a Motion Raceworks button that's gonna put on the steering wheel. And then you have your ground, all right? So how does the clutch tamer work? All right, I want you to take a look at this. I'm gonna put the key on for this. All right. So when you press down on the clutch, you see how it free spins, right? All right, let me try that again. All right, so with the clutch pedal, press down on it, right? It comes up. When you come up off on it, right? You could try sidestepping it, you could try doing whatever you want to do, right? Well, with the tamer, it allows you to have more control over this. So with drag racing, you put in first gear, and then you just slip the clutch, or you dump it, however you do it, right? This allows you to slip the clutch and be consistent the same way every time. So you actuate the button, you hear it energize, and now watch what happens when I dump the clutch. Oh, damn. I'm gonna do that again. press the button, clutch in. See that? See how slow that was? I'll do it one more time. The same way every time. And you want to take more bite out of it, you want to take bite out of it, whatever you want to do. This is how you adjust it right here. There's a stop nut and there's some trim that I got to put back on the car. And then basically you can't see this at all. And you can't even see it right now. There's an OEM panel I had to remove. And there's actually two panels. I got them out right here. Let me turn the car off and I'll show you right now. All right, enough of that clicking bullshit. All right, so these are the two panels you have to remove. This metal one, you can't reinstall with the Tamer because it has clearance issues. And then you have your plastic trim, which will go over it. And that's basically it. Once I put this back on, you can't even tell the Tamer's there, but you already can't really tell it's there. So look out. All right, enough of me yapping about modifications and changes on the car. Let's take a look at my trip to South Georgia Motorsports Park with my Mustang and me driving it down the quarter mile. Good morning, good morning. It's currently Saturday, December 7th, 2024. It's about 7:20 in the morning. Been driving for about 2 hours or so. I'm on my way to South Georgia Motorsports Park, Sgmp, picking up my car, and we're gonna run some test and tune at Sgmp's final test and tune of the year. So current goals, better my quarter mile and eighth mile time, just see what I can do and get some data on this clutch. I didn't bring my draggy, I left that at home, but I'll show you my experience and how this new Vengeance clutch works. Alright, I'm here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. Just got the car back from Vengeance. Gonna see what this clutch does. It's gonna be my first pass. Let's see what it does. In the staging lanes, the guy on last pass was not good, 11.2, 140. I tried to free foot it, and it did 2 a 60 foot and shit. This is gonna come down. It's gonna start coming down now. Now I'm gonna get more aggressive with the clutch. I think I got video that time of me leaving, so we're gonna make an adjustment. But basically, time to put a parachute on the car. I'm excited. Let's see if I can better it. I'd really like to do a 6.0 in the 8th. So we'll see if the car has it. exhaust blew off. I didn't turn you off. Alright, so that's 60 foot by lot, 141. So pretty cool. Pretty sure the clutch is not happy now, but I'm gonna look at the data log and I'll give you all a breakdown. Top 25 list. Real close to that top 25 list, man. I'm fucking excited, man. Let's see how this car does. We'll let it cool down. Fucking ice it down again. I think I got enough for 2 more runs still. you. Yep, 10.0, 146. Not my best driving, 660 in the 8th, all because of the shift. But I'm happy. The car's kind of proven now, so time to take it home and enjoy it a little bit. Alright, I know what you're thinking right now. I just got the McLeod RX T1200 in. You're about to stab the transmission in the car. Something changed.
I'm fucking in and you're fucking out. Now get the fuck out of my chair.
And I kind of want to talk about it now. All right, so obviously this is toast, my Mantic, but I want to show you something. This is the RX T1200 that I was going to put in there, but obviously it's not going in the car right now because it's out of it. I want to show you, this is a new clutch I received from Vengeance, and I don't really know much about it at the time, but I'm going to show you a little bit about it. It's a research and development type deal. So I'm going to be testing this clutch on my car. So I'm going to disassemble it, show you differences between this RX T1200 and the Mantic 9000 triple disc, and kind of give you a little bit more information on this clutch.
I knew that whole world, but I didn't know the Washington world too.
First thing you're going to notice is this clutch is secured by these 6mm Allen-headed bolts, and they go into a piece right here, very similar to how the Mantic was, how it had the pieces. I forgot what the proper nomenclature is, but basically the bolt went through the flywheel on the Mantic and came up. This one, it's a part of the flywheel assembly already, and it's threaded into that. So this is the first floater plate, which the diaphragm sits on top of and compresses, very similar to the Mantic. I'll get you a side-by-side comparison in just a second. But this just lifts off. And then this is the first clutch. So this clutch is way different than the Mantic and the McLeod. It's solid hub, and I'll get to the other stages on the other clutches right now. So next, since we got the diaphragms all off, obviously this is the first floater plate on the Mantic. This is the first floater plate on the Vengeance clutch, and this is what the McLeod RX T1200 looks like without the diaphragm, because the floater plate is kind of machined into the diaphragm. I'm not going to pull that apart and flip it over right now. I'll just cut to a picture of it at this time. All right, so now we're looking at the actual clutches of each one. We can tell the Mantic is the smallest one, which has a diameter of around 3/4 of an inch. But I believe it's advertised as a 9-inch clutch. The RX T1200 measures 9 3/4, but this is advertised as a 10-inch clutch. The Vengeance clutch is definitely way bigger. It is 10.5 inches. In diameter, and you can see the material is also, the pads itself are bigger also, which are about 2.5 inches at the largest point. RXT is 1.5 inches, and then the Mantic is approximately 1.5 inches as well. All right, basically at this point, we already know how the clutches are. Mantic has another clutch right here, then a floater plate, then your third clutch, and then the flywheel. Right, finishing off your clutch sandwich for the Mantic. All right, the Vengeance clutch, you have your clutch right here, and then it's the flywheel. And then on the RX T1200, I don't want to disassemble it anymore, but you have your bottom clutch and then the flywheel. So it's not rocket science. The Vengeance clutch is a twin disc also, but from what we've seen already, it's a much larger diameter, and the construction's way different compared to the RXT and the Mantic in its own respect. Alright, so one thing I've noticed with the Vengeance clutch is when you're torquing the diaphragm, the fingers actually compress. So you can visually see which one needs to go down more, or when you're torquing. So now you can see that one right over here by my thumb is a little bit lower. Jump down here to an easy one. Obviously there's a gap still. And the fingers compress. Here's the tech info on each clutch. The Mantic pad area for one singular pad is 1.730 inches. Multiply that by 8 pads per clutch, you get 13.84 inches. Multiply that by 3, you have a total surface pad area of 41.52 inches. The RXT 1200 has a pad area of 1.97 inches with 9 pads. 1.97 times 9 is 17.73. With 2 discs, multiply that out, you get 35.46 inches. And then the Vengeance clutch has a pad area of 3.55 inches. 3.55 with 6 pads, so that's 21.3 inches. And then multiply that by 2, 42.60 inches. So the Vengeance clutch does have the most surface area, but I'm going to give you some more data on it in just a second. I would now like to include a segment on the diameter of each clutch like I mentioned earlier. So with the Mantic being a in 3/4 clutch, that comes out to 60.13 inches of surface area. The RXT 1200 with a 9.75 is 74.66 inches of surface area. And the Vengeance is 10.5 with 86.59 surface area. So with the Mantic, you have 13.84 over 60.13, which is 23.02% of pad coverage on the entire disc. The RXT 1200 is 17.73 over 74.66, which is 23.75%. And the Vengeance is a 21.3 inches over 86.59, which is 24.60%. So the Vengeance clutch does give you the most pad area per disc, and it's the largest disc also, which helps with cooling, but obviously the Vengeance clutch worked the best for my application. I did a 1.41 60 foot, and I was able to do a 948 at 150. Thank you, Vengeance Racing, for the clutch and helping me get the car figured out. They met me at the track and offered assistance with troubleshooting and trying to dial the car in. I did a 141 60 foot. That was my personal best 60 foot. And then I did the 948 pass with a 1469. This is a slow motion video of the 9.4 at 150 pass with a 1469. The front end comes up way too fast and the rear hops. So I need to slow the front end down with more compression, add rebound to the rear suspension, add a pound of air pressure in the rear tires as well. Thank you to Mr. Dez who recorded this. I'll have his TikTok, IG and stuff in the corner of the screen. Thank you for watching.